Hey everybody, welcome back. It's been a bit. It's the beginning of October now. Haven't touched the truck except for this week since the May. So it's been a few months. Truck's just been sitting around collecting dust, getting in my way. Had a lot of stuff going on, a lot of sports. So last time, if you remember, left off with getting the driver's side all buttoned up here. And that side actually turned out pretty darn well. Well, earlier this week, I finally pushed through and got the passenger side done. That side did not turn out very well. It's usable. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to argue. It's usable. And like I've said before, I'm not extremely worried about it. It's my wife's truck and she's happy with it, so that's what matters, right? That's what matters. So going on the inside here, I jumped ahead and got that back there covered up. We'll just stay far away. It's not very pretty. Also got the kick out in the floor for the drive shaft done. Drive shaft does clear. Drive shaft is actually in place right now. And mind you, this has just been the last couple days that I've been working on this. I haven't been pushing very hard up to this point. But now, being we're in October, and I got a couple other projects I need to get done, need to get work done. And I would really like to work on it in this slot here where this truck is. So I'm trying to push a little bit. The transmission tunnel, that's where we're at right now. So you see I cut out the original floor pan that was there. I'm gonna hopefully make a cover that's halfway decent. Probably not, but it is what it is. We'll try and muster up something here to accommodate that area, and then get that taken care of. Once that's taken care of, then we can move on. Where we're going to move on to after that is pulling this engine and transmission back out, taking that transmission off, and using the one I had built up for a drag vehicle that's sitting way back there in the corner. I got to make that shift automatic again and bolt that in, and then we'll put that back in, and we'll put that back in for good. Throw headers on it, and then I can actually start assembling some of that stuff, and then we can start working on the steering. So the goal is here in the next few days to actually get the front clip mounted, get the hood back on it, get it somewhere so that I can get it in and out with ease, even if it's with the skid loader, which is one of those projects that came up in the last couple months. But touch on that later. So I want to get the front clip on, get it steerable, and get it so I can roll it in and out with ease. Everything else should be good. I got 4 holes to bolt the cab down now. That was pretty simple. Yeah, so we're just gonna get moving. More on what is coming in here. It's nothing big. So let's get going. All right, so I made a cardboard mess and made a template. So this is fairly well set up. I do have some other patching I'm gonna have to do, but for the most part, this is gonna be able to get me to where I need to go. I'll leave a little bit of extra, so that way I can make sure, you know what, for the most part, I know I need to leave some extra on this side, but I'll have to fill in a few areas, but that is going to get me where I need to be. I think that's going to work well. So we'll go off of that, and hopefully that will do exactly what we need it to do, and see how it works. It's not going to seal up tight, but it should be pretty good. It should be pretty close. And you know what? If I decide to, I can just weld it in and not make it removable. And that's not the end of the world. Not by any means. But it should take care of everything we need. All right, so I took and cut out my kite here. So this is my bend line here, and this is my bend line here. What I did is I took a ruler, went along in each area here, marked 1 inch in. I think that's what this ruler is an inch. And I'm gonna try and take and bead roll this as best I can. I know some of my lines aren't the best, but I'm going to try and bead roll this, see how that turns out. Thinking I'm going to try and put at least one something in here on each side, maybe. See how that works. And then I'm thinking I might make something a little special in the center here for the wife, because it's her truck. So let's go get this bead rolled here, see how that turns out, and then we'll decide if we are going to put anything special in the center or not. Because I'm not very good at bead rolling yet, because I haven't done it a lot, but let's try it out. Alright, so that didn't turn out half bad. Wasn't half good, but it wasn't half bad either. Definitely usable. Alright, so shall we see what we can do here? Alright. I am not much at a drawer here. So let me see. I can get rid of all these other lines, well, except the bend lines. Them are the only ones that matter right now. All right, so wife's name's Ashley. So how about we try and put just an A in here? See if we can do that. Now, like I said, I suck at drawing. I'm not good at calligraphy and everything else. So we're just gonna try a nice letter A. And I don't know how this is gonna turn out bead rolled. Maybe we should do it somewhere else first. I don't know. Because this might be too small to bead roll. Think that'll work? Let's see, where's my smallest beads here? It might work. Well, I guess we can give it a shot. Ain't gonna know anything if we don't try, right? Alright, well, I wonder if I should extend that A little bit. That ended up kind of goofy. Probably could have been a little bigger, but... So, in conclusion, bead rolling dies, not very good for letters. I guess maybe I need to figure out how to make dies. I bet I need a lathe to do that, and I make a sharp die for that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to extend that a little bit further. All right, there we go. I extended it a little bit more, and that ended up working pretty good. Now it doesn't look half bad. So I got to transfer these marks here, the lines to the back side, because the way I got to bend it is like this and like this. So I got to transfer them. I would have put flanges on here, but having just a standard brake instead of a finger brake makes it so that I really can't bend the other way. I tried yesterday, the day before, it did not work. So I'll go ahead and transfer these lines, put it in the brake, break it, and hopefully get it down to real close to where it needs to be, and go from there. So maybe if I'm lucky, I can break this part up here up, but I can't guarantee that either. So we'll have to see. Gonna go ahead and get that done now. All right, we got her broke. It didn't let me bend the top like I wanted to, so what I did is I took and I notched it with a grinder. You know what? The lighting sucks in here. Let me see if I can do something about that. I don't know if I can. Yes, I can. There. Is that better? Hopefully. All right. So I broke it. I took the grinder and just cut along there. For the most part, it looks like I might have to do a little bit of touch up on this side. Get it in there. That side looks actually pretty good. I'm happy with that. Yeah, I think my wife will be too. I'm actually probably just gonna go show her that, because she doesn't like surprises. So, all right, just gotta finish up little touch-ups to get that fitting a little better, and we should be good to go. All right, there it is, all patched up. It ain't perfect, but it's gonna work. It's gonna work fine and fantastic. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run a rubber strip of hose along both of these edges here, and you can see I put holes in up here. Them are the pilot holes. I'll drill those bigger. Went ahead on the inside here, marked out where it is on both sides. I hope you can see that. Probably not, so we'll bring some light closer. All right, so I marked out on both sides, so I know how far I can cut when I get the transmission out of here. Basically, I'll just take and chunk this out here a little bit better, so I got a little bit more room. That should take care of all of that. And you can see I drilled the holes up here. So what I'll do there is I'll take and drill them out and put some rev nuts in it. So that'll take care of that. Squeeze it up nice and tight, seal it up somewhat. So let me turn that light off real quick. That is a fantastic light. If you need to get yourself a light, that is a Icon light. I got it with the hood light bar. That isn't very good because it doesn't go wide enough, but that light is fantastic. I got a rev nut gun up in there somewhere. So next step would be pulling out engine transmission and getting the transmission swapped. That'd be the ideal thing. That way I can cut the floor out, get all that prepped, everything like that. I even went ahead and pulled out the other transmission. Okay. So in here, realistically, where am I at? I need to bolt the cab down and bolt the cab down. That's where I'm at. For the most part, realistically, the fabrication is done. That's the main fabrication of metalwork is done. Still have to drill the holes for the front end. Still got to do the steering column. After I get the motor in there, headers, I can do the steering column. The plan was to pull this out so I can swap transmissions and I can be done pulling out. It can go in and be done. It can go in. It'll live there. Way too much motor for this unit, but it is what it is. So we have a little bit of a dilemma. Not a big dilemma, but a little one. Here's my dilemma. So that transmission right there, Power Glide, pretty sure it's a Power Glide. I'm 98% sure. It doesn't actually say Power Glide on the side of it, but I'm pretty sure it's a Power Glide. This one I know is a Power Glide because I've been in it, had it apart many a times, too many times. The problem is right here. So this is the stock converter I had for this transmission. This little boy here is 5,000 stall, designed for twin turbos. Okay. I have a turbo spline input shaft. This converter is a stock converter that came with the transmission that's in it. So stock stall and what have you. But the problem lies with that stall is probably not enough for the cam that's in that motor. Plus, this is Power Glide spline, not turbo spline. So the specs on that camshaft I have hiding. Let me see if I can find them. It's in my junk somewhere. Right here. Texas speed, if that focuses. 228, 232 at 600 lift. So the reason I got that cam was for turbos. That's actually, and it was, that cam was for a 5.3, which is right there. Not the 6 liter, that's in there. So the little bit of dilemma that I have is the reality. I have way too much of a converter for this rig because it's a street rig, not a drag or street and strip. Way too much converter. I have 2500 stall. Yeah, it'd be fine. Fantastic. I don't have a 2500 stall right now. So that means realistically right now, it doesn't pay to pull the motor and transmission. I can leave the transmission in there and I can take this one apart and prep it and get it ready to go because I don't need the shield on it anymore. I don't need these lines on it. I can take the, actually I could swap the pan to a different pan or just put a plug in the temp sensor on this one because we don't need a temp sensor on there anymore. Let's see, need to keep this on here and I need to reinstall the speedometer gear in it and I need to make it shift automatic and I need to find the shift lever for it. I don't know where that went. Huh, I'll have to find that. So I can go ahead and get this prepped, but without having a converter, there's no point in putting it in. So in the meantime, what I can do is not pull that engine out, and I can throw the headers back on so I can get the steering done. And once the steering's done and in place, however that may wind up, once that's done, the front end needs to be cut off right about here on both sides. all the way down to make room for the front end. And then I can start fitting the front clip, cutting out the inner fender wells where they're going to need to be cut out, and notching the radiator core support to fit in. So from what I understand, and I've looked a little bit, they make a kit for the S10 frame so you can bolt all this stuff too, and it looks like the core support just gets cut off and it gets mounts that are bolted to the side. And I don't know if that'll allow enough room for a factory radiator. And I don't know, that puts the cab at 4 inches off the frame, or I think it's 4 inches off the frame. I don't know in comparison to where we're at here to see if that's going to work. I have a factory-ish radiator for this rig. It doesn't have any screw holes in it. It's sitting up in the box by the bender. It doesn't have any bolt holes in it, so I can move it around, and that's fantastic, but I'm not sure how that's all going to work. Guess we'll find out when we get to that point. So, now that we got that all out of the way, and for those of you that have stuck around, I appreciate it. Like I said, the majority of the fabrication of the bodywork is done. So that means some of you are going to go away, and some of you are still going to stick around. I appreciate you guys sticking around. The last couple months, since I got a little bit of time, figure I might as well. It's 7:30 at night. I got a long day tomorrow, but I'll deal with that tomorrow. Last couple months, let's see, 4 months. 4 months it's been. What has happened? Well, I realized that, sorry, I keep on hitting it, so I know the camera's on. Pretty much became a projectaholic, if you will. Everything, it just keeps on. Next thing, and the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. In the midst of finishing or working on this last time, getting that front end done, I decided I needed a more comfortable vehicle. My daily at that point, and now again, is a 19 Corolla. Not fantastic, a little small for me, but gets good gas mileage. So in June, I thought it was a good idea to buy a 2007 BMW. Guy said the head gasket goes out. Not a big deal, right? Big deal. So if you've never had a BMW, they are a lot of work, I guess you could say, to put them together and whatnot. Got it for cheap. It was salvage title, front end damage on it and whatnot. But I got it together, put a head gasket in it, got all the tools I needed for it, reset stuff, all that fun jazz, because there's a lot of stuff. Found out the water pump was bad, and they were running the wrong type of antifreeze, so that's probably what took out the water pump. I don't think the head gasket was bad at all. I think it was just a water pump. Everything on the head looked fantastic, whatnot. Got it together, was has valve timing codes all the time. Tried to figure out what's going on, reset the timing half a dozen times, and every time you pull a valve cover off, you got to replace the valve cover gasket and the bolts because it's aluminum. Many of the parts on it are aluminum. Just dumb. But I ended up I got it with 132,000 miles on it. I put it's at 139,000 now in a couple months. Drove it for quite a bit. Got about 25 miles to the gallon, not too bad. But my daughter just turned 15, and one of the Mustangs that was going to go to her, now she wants the BMW instead. And that's fine, because my youngest son was just about 13. He was going to get the BMW. That was the intent, was I would drive it for a couple of years, and then he would get it as his first car. So now that's going to go to my daughter. So in the meantime, my daughter was going to get the 94 Mustang that's been around. Then I went and bought a 97 Mustang for a parts car, and it ended up being fairly rust free. So we were going to fix that one up. I needed a transmission. The transmission was only forward. So the front clutches, forward clutches were welded. Low miles, another salvage vehicle. But I was just going to fix that up and get that going, put a different transmission and let it go. But my son wants the 94, wants the red one. So I guess I'll have to swap all that stuff out. Then I got the 83 Mustang T-top that I replaced a quarter on, and now it's sitting out of my parents, along with the other two Mustangs. They're both out there too. And I picked up the next project that's going to be on the channel, the major project anyway. Hopefully, my plan is to make it go quick, because I want to take it to Florida in March. I would like to drive it down there. Don't know if it's going to happen because I don't have a title for it and I got to apply for one. So in order to get that one going, because the frame was shot, which it's a 66 country sedan. I'll see if I can put a picture up here. But in order for me to get that one going, I needed a frame. So I ended up finding a 68 Ford XL Fastback. Good frame. Has a little bit of rot in the body, but I have a title for that car. Originally, it is a 428 4-speed bucket car. So I would hate to just see it rot, but so what do you do with that? There's another project. And then I was talking about the skid loader. Well, I picked up a mid-70s Massey skid loader. And that had no spark when I got it. The magneto went to crap on it, so I ended up putting a distributor on it, and I've been using that now for a little bit. Main reason for that is snow in the winters. So then, let's see, I worked on my buddy's Camaro. I got a little bit more left to do on that, but not much. I ordered a fan for it. It's got a clutch fan on it right now, and it doesn't seem to be cooling, so I ordered a regular fan. And then, lo and behold, right here, I got my 429. That's what I was planning on going in the country sedan, but it's got a 410. We'll go over all that later. But right back here is a 543 valve. Well, that's out of my dad's pickup, which is sitting in my driveway right now. Next week, the new motor showing up. So this one had the timing chains went. They didn't snap, but the guide snapped, and then it was chewing the aluminum out of the timing cover and just sent aluminum all through the engine. So that one's pretty much trash. So that'll go back to a rebuilder to take care of and let them deal with it. But I have that to deal with shortly. So the last 4 months have been busy. And like I said, I just keep on buying project after project after project. I got my Jeep and my wife's Explorer are now gone. We traded those in on my wife. She now has a Rogue. So in order to do some of the stuff I need to do, now I have an enclosed trailer that I picked up that's needed a lot of work. So it's just one thing after another, project after project after project. At some point in time, you just got to stay off of like the Facebook and Craigslist and stuff like that, and finish what you got started. So that's kind of where we're at right now with this rig. But realistically, where we're at with this is getting it movable. It will be in and out. The plan is probably drag it out, bring my dad's truck in so I can put the motor in there. And then once my dad's truck's gone, I can bring this back in, work on some of the wiring, work on some of that stuff because I don't have a gas tank and stuff like that yet. Do as much as I can. And at the same time, I got to get the XL in here, pull the body off of it, pull the frame out, and make some type of frame table for the body, hint, hint, so that I can get that out of here. And then pull the wagon in here and pull the body off that frame and pull the motor out, pull the, pretty much pull everything off that. I'm guessing once I start lifting it up on the body, the frame will just fall out anyway. But it did have a little bit of rot in the floor, but not much. And the interior is actually fairly decent. And like I said, we'll go over that soon. Sooner than later, hopefully. So in the midst of all of that, this truck will get done, but projects are going to be happening in between. So this isn't the end of this truck getting to where we need to be here. But there is other projects that will be coming onto the channel here shortly. So again, if you guys have been with me this entire time, I do appreciate it. I really do. Thank you very much. I know this truck has brought quite a few of you to this channel, and I do appreciate that. And it's not going anywhere. Once it's done, my wife and I will enjoy driving it. And actually we'll hopefully get some video of this one driving. Really haven't done anything with the 64 F100 after I got that done. It's been sitting in the backyard. Actually, the hood for this and the bed rails are in the back end. So haven't even put tabs on it this year. The most it's gotten driven is from the backyard to the front yard and back. That's it. So I'm pretty just sad and disappointed on that. With being as busy as I have been for work, I haven't had time to do much of anything. Planning on changing that this next year. Still going to be working for the same place. I'm just not going to be on the road as much and try and enjoy life a little bit more. So, if you got any comments, comment below. I really do appreciate it. Getting them here and there, that I do appreciate that. If there's anything you have questions on, just go ahead and comment. I'll get back to you as quick as I can. Other than that, thanks for sticking around. We're gonna probably call it a night here. Just think about stuff, figure out what we're gonna do, and I'll get back on this tomorrow. See, today's Thursday, so tomorrow night, Friday, I got all day Saturday to work on this, and part of the day on Sunday. So hopefully by then, by the end of this weekend, the front clip is going to be on, and so will the hood. The motor is not going to be the right one, or the transmission won't be the right one, but stuff will be together. So again, thanks, appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Have yourselves a great night.